and it seems like you should hook black to black, but when I turn the key on, that one gets hot. But look at the difference in the battery post here, where I cleaned.
In this episode, Michael's family visits us in the Dominican Republic for Christmas. They all arrived wearing Bums on a Boat t-shirts and even had an extra for Michael and I. An epic care package was also brought over from the States, including a camcorder we ordered and a drone, which was a Christmas present from my brother Tony and sister-in-law Maria. These items would have been tricky to have shipped into Luperon. Michael's father and I knock out some boat projects, and we show Michael's family the beautiful Dominican Republic.
So this line right here isn't always hot. I found a ground down here. I used that one. So that pink and blue isn't always hot. Okay? Everything else is cold. That one's not always hot. I can't read, but it might say battery. It doesn't. That's cold. That's cold. But watch this one. When I turn the key on, that one gets hot. When I turn the key off, that one goes cold.
So mainly we have the blinking light that's always on. He was saying it's got to be drawing a little bit. See that light right there? And so he's trying to figure out how to get that to stop blinking constantly, because it's draining a little bit of our battery constantly. So that's what he's been working on.
Yeah, so, and that's a low oil light.
Mm-hmm.
And the engine's not running, and you said when you start the engine it goes off and oil pressure comes up.
Yep.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be blinking if we have this instrument panel cold. So that's what I'm going to try.
Okay.
Is switch it to that one portion of the key switch that gets hot when we turn it to the first position. See it?
Yeah,
all the green underneath this, that's all from the salt water. These things should be shiny. And that means you're getting good contact if you're on shiny. And like I was saying, you really need some sort of a product that's going to minimize that corrosion. Battery product of some sort. But look at the difference in the battery post here, where I cleaned versus where I didn't. And you can even just clean it with a knife. Just bring it down to that good lead color. Get rid of that corrosion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got good contact. But this black, all this black shit here is all corrosion. And it's gonna, wreck your connection. Like this, the white should always be neutral or negative. And it seems like you should hook black to black, but this black in a 2-wire system is a hot wire. Same thing in a house. You got wires in your wiring in a house is black, white, and usually a copper that's unshielded. And so this is always your hot. This is AC type and this is DC. But it's just get the whole damn thing covered so that it doesn't ground out on something, particularly in and of itself. If these two touch, because you don't have them well wrapped, you'll have a short issue and you won't be generating power.
Okay.
You won't have sparks though.
That's the main thing.
We talked to Mike in the bar at Wendy's, and he's the previous owner of the wind generator. And he explained to us exactly how to use this switch more correctly than we had it. We had the power going through the switch, but we didn't know to put the negative through the switch as well, and it goes to the battery, and you can actually just kill the whole thing by turning it to the off position. I wrote him a little note up here. And that will help the thing to slow down, he said, in high winds and not generate any power. And it'll use the brake to slow it down.
And how does the off position work? It
actually grounds the whole thing straight to the battery. Mike said, and that's okay. Apparently, I wouldn't have guessed that, but once you ground the whole thing straight to the battery, it cannot create electricity and actually forces the thing to slow down in high winds. It was up to 6. There it goes again.
4 volts. After cleaning all the terminals up, we installed a fuse for the wind generator, and then we used the stuff we bought at the auto parts store and just sprayed it all over the terminals just to battle corrosion. So this is what the batteries look like now. And here's the wind generator coming in here, and there's the 30 amp fuse here. And that blackish purple stuff, that's what I sprayed on there. And all these connections are nice and clean now. The Schuster family vacation.
Oh, and we gotta hold the
Stand over there so you can stand.
hold the puppy, of course. The grand pup.
There's Doug and Suzanne's ride there. Michael and I are on that, and Marshall and Aaron are in the margarita cart. How's the ride?
Muy bueno.
Muy bueno.
She's sleeping. Dog with a handle.
This view never gets old. What's been your favorite and what's been your least favorite part of the Dominican Republic visit so far?
My favorite part is the weather. So warm and nice, even when it's windy. Nice and warm, like warm.
Yeah.
It's cold back home. Least favorite part is we didn't get a hot shower last night in our villa. It's a bummer.
Being able to spend Christmas on the boat. Michael made dinner. That was the best.
That was best.
I have to go with the cold shower. I don't like cold water.
My favorite part has been the beach so far because this is amazing. And my least favorite was walking back in the dark the first night. I was a little wigged out by that.
Favorite part for me has been the scenery, whether it's the beach, as you can see here, or just riding out through the country, seeing all the different styles of life.
And the cows. I forgot
Yeah.
to say the cows. Damn it.
And the least favorite part was embarrassing myself trying to ride a motorcycle for the first time. No crashes, near crashes, and a lot of hurt ego on that one.
Many of you may not know that sailing is in Michael's blood, and I'd like Suzanne there to tell us about your childhood, maybe a little bit, just a little.
Oh.
Your sailing experience.
So I grew up sailboat racing in Portland, Oregon on the Columbia River. We started off learning to sail when I was about 10 on an O'Day 22, and then we moved up to a Santana 27, and then a CNC 30, and then we moved up to a J racing boat. We just raced from March to November doing weekend races up and down the Columbia River from between the I-5 and the I-205 bridge. It's
And
a family hobby.
So this is a tip most of you might know, but how about your job and how you lined up the little streamers
Oh.
and how you get the most performance out of your sails?
So in the smaller boat, I used to help with the jib sail, and so the red yarn on the sail, in order to get maximum, speed out of your sail, you want to adjust the sail so that the yarn on both sides of the sail are completely lined up and going straight back. And so when we got to a bigger boat, then I did that on the main. And so same thing, when you're sailing, you're constantly adjusting. When you race, you're adjusting your sails to get the most speed out of it, and by looking at the yarn and making sure they're completely streaming back.
And a question for Marshall: if somebody was thinking about visiting the Dominican Republic, what should they expect? How should they prepare?
Bring a lot of clothes to be very warm, and make sure to have the correct currency. There are two. You ask for pesos, you might get Mexican pesos. You need Dominican pesos.
There's coffee here.
Let's flip the tide here, Michael. Let's ask Joel what his favorite part about the Schuster vacation was.
Excellent question.
Oh man, I really enjoyed working on the boat with your dad. I think I learned a lot, and it was fun to watch him just get in there and see what a natural he is, and how his skills transferred over, his mechanic skills. Working on diesel and farm equipment, he can come on a boat and just tear it apart. Least favorite part of the Schuster vacation?
Least favorite part.
Least favorite part. It's cliche, but how fast it went by. I guess it seems like it's over and it just began. So. And maybe, I guess, the least favorite was the weather could have been a little more cooperative. But it was pretty great. It just was a little rainy and muddy. And maybe I have to change my favorite part to transporting the suitcase on the back of a motorcycle with your dad. That was probably my favorite part of the Schuster vacation.
That was epic.
Yeah, we successfully did that. I think we have a picture we can show because we didn't get it on camera, but
No, we got photos.
I'll try to pop a picture of what we're talking about over this clip.
Next time, a mattress.
A mattress.
Yes.
And then a fridge. The third
And a fridge.
Then we're pro.
A fridge.
These are the tales of Boab.